I know there were several segments in different areas. Can you just
Yeah.
explain that a little bit, please?
So I met with, I think, 6 different groups today, maybe. Let me try to think through. The support staff was my first group, and I think I had about, what do we have, about 10 or 12, maybe, or a little bit more. And then kids, we had students from both high schools, so we had about 16 students, mostly juniors, but several seniors as well. It's had some good discussion with some students. And then in the afternoon, we ended up with administrators, 2 groups of teachers, and then parents, and did I forget anybody? I think that's it. So, so basically I asked them 4 questions. And the first question is, tell me about your strengths. What do you think the strengths of the district are? And so we had a discussion about the strengths in the district, and I heard lots of good things about the special needs program. I heard about the staff. I heard about various programs that are being offered. Dual enrollment was mentioned by parents. And I'm going to give you a report on this at a later date when I have a chance to write it up. But the second question then is about improvements. What improvements do people think could be made? And so that's, of course, the biggest portion of the meeting. And so we talked a lot about various things. We talked about facilities, improving facilities. We talked about technology. We talked about more offerings for students. We talked about what it means to have the merger of the high schools and how that will play into things. What can happen with the new proposed wall-to-wall academies? How does that going to work, and where does that fit in? And so we talked about a lot of these different areas that could be improved in the district. How do we retain students? How do we brand the district and market the district? Things like that. And then we went into what are the barriers for the district to make these improvements. What stops us? What slows us down? And so things like funding, money was brought up. Time sometimes is a barrier. People working together, trust, communication. Some of those kinds of things were mentioned. And then the last thing was the vision for the district. What do people envision for the district? What do they want to see 3 or 4 years from now? And some of the improvements that we talked about obviously were things that could be also just improved on. But we also talked about what do they really want to see, and a lot of people talked about pride. They'd like the district, the kids to be proud of going here. They'd like the reputation to be improved. They'd like the district to be the gem in the downriver area was mentioned. They'd like the district to be sought after and people to want to be here. And they think that the opportunity for having one high school with a new curriculum is a part of that as well. So there was a lot of discussion about the pride in Taylor and what the district could be in the future. So that was the discussion for the day. I'll tell you, my groups kept me right to the minute. As you noticed, we didn't get finished here until 5 to 6, and so we were a little bit late in setting up for your meeting, but all of the groups were very engaged and did a very nice job, and I appreciate the teachers in particular and the support staff and the administrators. I mean, everybody was very engaged and interested in improving the district and wanting to be involved.
How are we getting out? I saw the announcement in the paper. How are we getting out the news that there is a survey to fill out online?
So we put a couple of notices in the paper. It's also on the website, and I've asked Kim to send out another email either today or tomorrow, and I think she's going to do it tomorrow. But
I did that earlier about an hour ago.
Oh, did we? Okay, so you guys are on top of it. So yeah, we're trying to get the emails out to people. We want as many people to fill it out as can. I had 127 had filled it out already as of this morning, early this morning, and I'm sure we're going to get some more. We've got about, I think, a week to keep it open. 15th is the deadline that I set, so so we'll try to trumpet up the business and get some more people to fill it out. And board members are certainly welcome to fill it out as well. No problem with that either.
Can we put it on our TV station?
Absolutely.
cable station, and also the marquees, the buildings that have marquees, if they can put something up there
Yeah.
about going to the
Made out
website.
another robocall.
Yeah, we can do a robocall, that'd be great. Yeah, anybody is welcome to fill it out, and it's not really that complicated. I mean, really, there is just the 4 questions, and it is kind of an open-ended thing, but we're gonna take that input and hopefully, report back to you in regards to what people would like to see improved in the district. That's the main thing that I wanna, focus on is the goals and what you should be working on. Make sure you've got that input and the ownership from the stakeholders.
And then could you explain the structure of the meeting on February 10th, what we will be doing, and how many hours will be there?
Yeah, let's go forward a couple of slides here, and I will, put that up there. So the planning team retreat, one of the big things, and I told this to all the staff today, this plan is not going to be something that's completely out of the blue and completely different. We're going to start with your current initiatives. You know, and the first thing, the environmental scan, that's kind of just looking at the environment, what are we dealing with? And obviously some of the things we're dealing with here is choice and charters and funding. Those are some of the parts of the environment that we're dealing with. But then I want to go into Ben, and this, I haven't told you this yet, but I want a little report from you at this meeting, telling people what some of the initiatives are. So talking about the curriculum thing and maybe some of these other things that you've got going on in the district that I'm not even aware of, so that people have a little idea of the lay of the land. And then from there, we want to review the report. So I've got, as I said, about 120 pages that it's going to take some time to go over and to look at, and we want to divide up into groups a little bit and talk about some of those areas to help us understand what should we really be focusing on in terms of improvement. Included in that data is going to be the qualitative data, which is the meetings with people, and so I will have that in that report. At that point, we want to look at your vision, mission, and belief statements and make sure that you're either okay with what you have or that we make adjustments to what you have. Now, I do remember on your website you've got your belief statements, so I pulled all your stuff off your website, Ben, your belief statements, your mission, your vision. I've got 2 vision statements for you. One of them is educating for the 21st century, and then the other one is leaders in education. So those were 2 different places, so I wasn't sure which one really was the most prevalent. So my recommendation would be to pick one of something, and then that's what we use to brand. So we'll spend some time doing that, and then we're going to go into developing the strategic goal areas. So at that point, we're going to be taking the data and the reflections of people and trying to develop what should the goal areas be, and then I'm going to take you through a process of finalizing goal statements. And so that's the general plan for that day. It's going to take about the whole day, so I've got 8:30 to 4 kind of plan. And Ben, the one thing I didn't ask you was where are we going to do that meeting at? Did we decide that?
Remind me again, are you thinking 40 people?
Yeah, 40 or so, and it could be more. If we end up with a few more, that's fine. I don't think we would want more than 55 or so.
So when we have, if it's 40, it works in this room. We typically do our pre-K-12 leadership meetings in here with about 35. We can seat 35. We also have the technology for reports, presentations. If it's growing above 45, pushing 50, we probably need to rethink and look at different locations.
So we'll let you know. We've got to do a little more work on that and decide how we're going to set up. So it's either going to be here or it could be at one of the high schools or library or something. Right. And I'll talk to you about that in terms of setup. So
It is a public meeting, so if we get more than 40 that show up, they can't come in the building, then we need to look at it.
yeah, it's public. It's definitely a public meeting, and people can watch us work. So if somebody doesn't get invited or isn't on the team, so to speak, they can watch and participate as needed. I've done them as big as 50, so there's no real problem with that. We want to get everyone involved that wants to get involved as much as possible. It's really a great day. Honestly, I think you'll really appreciate it. It's great to see everybody working together towards a common purpose, and I think you'll feel that, and it'll be a productive day. After that meeting, then the next thing that I'm going to be doing is an implementation meeting. And so I'll just give you a little slide on that. This is where I want to meet with the administrative team, and we've picked February 27th for me to meet here with the administrators and actually go over the whole plan and put some strategic timelines to it, and put some metrics to it, put some things that will allow us to measure what we're accomplishing, and actual action plans. So I'm going to try to do some implementation with the administrators so that they're prepared to